Hey everyone, welcome back to Hit Wicket. So today I thought I'll do a World Cup T20 XI for the tournament, as all the group games are over now. There's obviously been some surprising results and whatnot, but I'll get straight into my team. So some of the positions in this team were pretty easy to pick. Some were extremely hard to pick, to be honest. It took me quite a while to decide who to go for. So opening the batting, I had obviously the leading run scorer Babar with 264 runs, averaging 66 at a strike rate of 128. I had to have him opening. The second choice was a bit harder. I'll come back to that later. My number 3 was Hasaranga. I think he performed extremely well throughout the tournament, even against the strong teams. He got 231 runs, averaging 46 at a strike rate of 147. He did perform match-winning knock against Bangladesh as well. At number 4, there was some debate whether I pick Markram or Van der Dusen, maybe a couple other names here and there. But I ended up going for Markram. He had a very good tournament. He started off the tournament really well against Australia. He did get a 50 here and there. He hit quite a lot of sixes as well. And he's been on fire throughout this tournament. It was just unfortunate South Africa didn't get through due to net run rate. 162 runs, averaging 54, and with a strike rate of 146. So he's my number 4. Number 5 was a bit of a hard pick too, so I'll come back to that later. Number 6, I think, was quite easy for me. There were maybe a couple of options here and there, but number 6, I wanted my finisher. And who has finished the best games in this tournament so far? For me, it has to be Asif Ali. Those 2 games that he finished were nearly getting to an unwinnable stage for Pakistan, and the way he took dominance, turned down Shadab for the single, and then smashed 4 sixes and then proceeded to do it again. That was incredible stuff, and I really want that sort of play in my XI, especially to finish games off, where you can get like 30 off 10 balls or something along those lines. Now at number 7 was pretty easy-ish pick, to be honest. I think he's been the player of the tournament so far, especially since he's got runs, he's got wickets. So I went with Wanindu Hasaranga from Sri Lanka. He got 16 wickets at average of 9.75, an economy of only 5.2. Now for a leg spinner who did bowl some overs in the power play too, that's extremely good in T20 cricket. Not only that, he also scored 119 runs, an average of 24, and a strike rate of nearly 150. So that's very handy to have at number 7. I think he was the reason why Sri Lanka also won 2 games and did extremely well in the qualifiers. He was getting wickets throughout against even the stronger teams as well, and he got handy runs here and there too, which is what I want at number 7. Then I have my 4 bowlers. This was an interesting choice again. I had quite a few bowlers to go from. There was options of Zampa, Boult, Pretorius, Nokia, Rashid, Hazelwood, Shamsi, Rashid Khan, and Abdul Rashid, Haris Rauf, Ish Sodhi. But as you hear me name that list, there's quite a few leg spinners in that list, so I could not pick all of them. So my 4 bowlers I went with was, at number 8, I have Dwayne Pretorius. I think he was an underrated gem for South Africa at the death. They transformed him into a death bowler. Initially in his career, or before this World Cup, he wasn't really a death specialist. He just bowled in the middle over period and maybe bowled 1 over at the death. But Temba Bavuma used Dwayne Pretorius extremely well this tournament. He started his first over in like the 14th or 13th over and bowled him 3 or 4 at the death. And for bowling so many overs at the death, his stats of 9 wickets at 11.22 with an economy of 6.88 only when he's bowling nearly all of his overs at the death is exceptional. He picked up a lot of wickets in the back end, and those slower balls and change-ups was really handy for South Africa to go far in the tournament. At number 9, I have another South African. I went with Heinrich Nokia. Now, he's always been a personal favourite, one of my favourite bowlers around that are going around right now. I've always thought the way he just bustles in, keeps things simple, has a really good Yorker, he bowls bloody quick, and yeah, he has some decent change-ups here and there too. But ever since he's burst on the scene, he's been really good, whether it be IPL, whether it be for his country. So his stats were 9 wickets, averaging 11.55, an economy of only 5.37. So that's a really good economy for someone who bowls that quick. You expect them to go the journey, especially with top edges flying for 6 nowadays and things like that. Number 10, I have my spinner. Now, I had a lot of spinners to choose from. I had Zampa, Abdul Rashid, Rashid Khan, Tabrez Shamsi, Ish Sodi. There was 5 I had to pick from. I ended up going with Zampa. He took 11 wickets, average of 9.9 and an economy of only 5.7. He did get a 5 for in one game, but he was pretty accurate throughout the tournament for Australia, sorry. And he's also been quite underutilized by Australia and unrecognized by Australia. He sort of flies under the radar, but he's done a job for them for quite a while now in ODI and 2020 cricket. And it's good that he's finally getting some recognition. And at number 11, I have Trent Boult, who seems to make it into a lot of World Cup 11s. He seems to always perform, whether it be ODI World Cups or T20 World Cups. He got 11 wickets, average of 10.45, and an economy of only 5.84. Swings it up top, bowls good overs at the death. Obviously, his team's through to the semi-finals, so him and Sodi definitely did a really good job for New Zealand, as well as the other bowlers. Those are the easier picks for me. Now, if we go back to our number 2, so I had Babar at number 1. Number 2 was a really close pick. I had to pick between Rizwan and Jos Buttler. Rizwan, well, what a knock against India, and he's also got further knocks to that. I think he was the 6th highest run scorer ended. Jos Buttler was the 2nd highest run scorer. But Jos Buttler's 100 that he got against Sri Lanka when they were 3 for 40 after 10, and he was on, I think, 25 off 30 roughly, and he went on to make 100. That was an incredible knock in difficult conditions too. And his stats, with 240 runs under his belt, 120 of average, strike rate of 155 was some of the best stats of the tournament. Not many people could strike that much in these difficult conditions that everyone's played in, but he did. He's been very consistent for England for a while now, especially in white ball cricket. And he'll be playing in the finals too, with England qualifying for the semis. Be interesting to see if he can add to that tally. And he'll be even more important with Jason Roy being injured. Rizwan was very close. I have to admit, he's probably the biggest honourable mention. But now we go back to the number 5 position. So there was a couple of options I had for number 5. There was Bhanuka Rajapaksa from Sri Lanka, Mohammad Nabi from Afghanistan, Najibullah Zadran from Afghanistan. They were all pretty good, but in this team so far I have 5 bowlers. I don't really have a 6th true bowler. Markram maybe can bowl a couple of overs, but I thought I'd go with an all-rounder. So it had to be between Mohammad Nabi. I said Moeen Ali too. Mohammad Nabi, Moeen Ali. And I ended up going with Mohammad Nabi because I wanted more of a batting all-rounder. And Mohammad Nabi's got 127 runs, averaging 64, strike rate of 120. He's only got 1 wicket, but he's been not bad with the ball, and he only has to bowl a couple of overs in this team anyway. So that's my team. I'll go through it again. So I have Buttler at the top with Babar Azam captain, Buttler wicketkeeper, Hasaranga at 3, Markram 4, Nabi at 5, Asif Ali 6, Wanindu Hasaranga 7, and then my bowlers are Pretorius, Nokia, Zampa, and Boult. So let me know what your 11 is in the comments below, whether you agree with my 11 or you have your own 11. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.